Awkward talk show moments that no one saw coming. Since their inception in the mid-1950s, talk programs have become an indispensable component of American society. Throughout these succeeding decades, celebrities and charismatic presenters have promoted new films, engaged in thought-provoking discussions, and appeared in comedic segments and sketches such as Lip Sync Battle. Late-night programming is unpredictable at best. Certain interviews are conducted thoughtfully, whereas others are comedic, uncomfortable, or downright peculiar. But regardless, they manage to entertain us all at times. Let us embark on a nostalgic journey and revisit a selection of the most momentous and abhorrent occurrences that transpired during the late-night talk show era. Jimmy Kimmel and Matt Damon's feud. Matt Damon and Jimmy Kimmel are embroiled in one of the most protracted feuds in talk show history. Everything kicked off as Kimmel began concluding his episodes with the statement, "We regret to inform Matt Damon that our schedule ran out." Damon became cognizant of this, and the two became embroiled in an unrestricted feud that the couple's counseling was unable to resolve. Damon once hijacked Kimmel's program and held him captive, while Kimmel attempted to snag Damon's The Bourne Ultimatum role. Participation by additional personalities, including Sarah Silverman, made the event even more legendary. Madonna's profanity. Few public figures are as candid and iconic as Madonna. In her presence, virtually anything is possible. This was prominently showcased throughout the appearances on Late Show with David Letterman, where she utilized profanity 14 times. This rendered the interview even more censored. The interview was replete with intense criticism, leaving the audience perplexed as to whether the two individuals cherished or despised one another. Madonna even disclosed to Letterman that her presence was solely attributable to the Knicks' non-participation. Ariana Grande gets a piggyback ride. Starbucks staff members have likely observed numerous peculiar occurrences in the course of their duties. However, even they were likely at a loss for words when it came to the sight of James Corden riding Ariana Grande aloft. In one installment of Carpool Karaoke, Corden and the well-known vocalist Ariana Grande visited Starbucks for coffee, and as part of their agreement, he carried Grande on his back. Employees began to document the incident on their mobile devices out of astonishment. With a composed countenance, the singer introduced herself as Ariana Grande. "I require carrying." She subsequently placed an order for a grande soy latte. Nicole Kidman's crush on Jimmy Fallon. Unpredictably, celebrities have uneasy and routine dating experiences similar to those of the general public. Consider talk show host Jimmy Fallon and actress Nicole Kidman, who won an Academy Award, as examples. In a single interview featured on The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon, the two individuals recounted their initial encounter. Kidman, much to Fallon's disbelief, believed that they were on a date when she truly had an infatuation with him. Fallon was under the impression that Kidman was uninterested in him until he discovered otherwise during the interview. It was both extremely endearing and humiliating. Drew Barrymore flashes David Letterman. Drew Barrymore rose to prominence through her performances in romantic comedies. However, Barrymore also possesses a chaotic side that she's not averse to displaying, even on television. This is best illustrated by Barrymore's renowned stunt on The Late Show with David Letterman. During their conversation regarding a recent club outing, she offered to perform a dance routine for Letterman. The actress began dancing after abruptly leaping onto the table and raising her blouse. Due to the stunt's legendary status, Courtney Love made an unsuccessful attempt to replicate it. Tom Hanks ends up soaking wet. Similar to other talk show visitors, Tom Hanks also prefers to attend his interviews in formal attire. However, it was an enormous error to attend a water park excursion with Conan O'Brien while donning one of his suits. As the two enjoyed whale watching and conversed, a large whale plunged from the water and drenched Hanks completely. O'Brien naturally remained drier. Tom Hanks, being the consummate sportsman that he is, participated in the jest by pouring water from his beaker over himself before continuing to grin and speak as if nothing had happened. Harrison Ford dislikes Chewbacca. Harrison Ford has a reputation for aversion to inquiries concerning the colossal Star Wars franchise. It's therefore unsurprising that Jimmy Kimmel, during an interview, consented to audience queries so long as they entirely avoided the franchise. Kimmel, being Kimmel, utilized the situation to his advantage by donning Star Wars costumes for several audience members. One individual participated in this by donning a Chewbacca costume and emitting characteristic growl noises. Ford, irate, inquired of Kimmel how did he gain access, and instructed him to choose a side before rushing away. It appears that Ford and Chewbacca have an unresolved dispute regarding Ford's spouse. Heidi Klum's Bear It All episode. Supermodel Heidi Klum intended to make The Tonight Show memorable in 2003 by performing a striptease featuring a diamond-studded inner worth $8 million from Victoria's Secret. The lower half of the lingerie is valued at approximately $3 million. However, the outcome deviated from the intended course of action. Throughout the interview, Klum perceived that her bra had detached uninvitedly. She immediately lost all self-assurance and clung to her clothing to an absolute minimum. Thankfully, assistance was readily available in the shape of comedian Martin Short, who was present on the program, and Leno, who rescued her by offering their suit jackets as a shield so Klum could refasten her lingerie. Two to the bell, the two gentlemen were able to rescue her. Conan O'Brien's Revenge. An instance of considerable controversy in the annals of talk shows occurred when NBC relinquished The Tonight Show from Conan O'Brien to Jay Leno after the latter reconsidered his departure. This arguably inspired the most compelling revenge storylines in television history. As retribution for the network's portrayal of him, O'Brien chose to spend $1.5 million of their funds on his final night as a presenter. This encompassed the acquisition of a Bugatti Veyron adorned in a mouse costume and the airing of Satisfaction, the most costly song to use by the Rolling Stones. Joaquin Phoenix's bizarre interview. Throughout his career, Joaquin Phoenix has been the subject of some quite peculiar interviews, but this appearance on Late Show with David Letterman stands in stark contrast. Phoenix arrived in costume as a character from his film I'm Still Here, intending to remain in that persona throughout the event. When the entire affair detonated at one point, Letterman did not hold back. He derided the actor for chomping gum during the interview, inquired about his time spent with the Abomination director, and concluded the segment by apologizing to Joaquin for missing out on the evening. Phoenix issued an apology after later realizing he'd crossed the line. Adele breaks the internet. James Corden's Carpool Karaoke honored numerous notable celebrities such as Ariana Grande, Elton John, Lady Gaga, and Justin Bieber. Adele, a British musical sensation, is, however, the most cherished visitor in this immensely popular segment. Following Corden's reference to Adele's enormous smash, Hello, the episode proceeded to fan favorites Someone Like You and All I Ask. Not only did the tracks themselves cause the internet to crash, it culminated in her exuberant persona and a monumental monster rap. Marlon Brando gives Larry King a peck on the lips. Marlon Brando, an acting icon, was notorious for avoiding interviews. Larry King was among the select few who had the good fortune to interview him. To publicize his book, Songs My Mother Taught Me, King was invited to Brando's residence, and the interview revealed a side of the two-time Academy Award winner that was seldom seen. They ultimately sang Got a Date with an Angel together before sharing a passionate touch on the lips because they were having so much fun. It was both humiliating and legendary in the annals of television history. Cheers to Cheers. The characters of the popular American sitcom Cheers decided to rejoice at a local pub in Boston following the airing of its final episode and the conclusion of its 11th season. Given the invitation to conduct an interview, it can be argued that Jay Leno attempted an appropriately formal gathering. It had been quite some time since the cast arrived, and the majority of them were thoroughly inebriated. Given that it was a live performance, Leno could not have been better prepared for his turbulent evening. Also unprecedented was the appearance of inebriated personalities on a late-night program. Andy Kaufman getting slapped by Jerry Lawler. Although David Letterman is renowned for conducting difficult interviews, nothing could have prepared him for wrestling challenges from Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler. Kaufman, who had sustained an injury during his bout with Lawler, wore a neck brace on a sweltering evening. Kaufman demanded an apology from his fellow wrestler for exerting excessive force, but Lawler mocked him in response. Furthermore, a strike from him precipitated Kaufman's collapse from his chair. Kaufman hurled coffee at Lawler from across Letterman's desk after arising. Nobody's certain whether this was staged or genuine as of yet. Jimmy Kimmel dresses up as Jay Leno. The fact that NBC aired with Conan O'Brien is not a secret. Following Jay Leno's retirement, O'Brien assumed hosting duties at The Tonight Show, and he performed admirably. However, his hosting was briefed following Leno's decision to return. Although he returned home empty-handed, O'Brien likely felt better after his fellow talk show presenters offered him their support. Jimmy Kimmel's one of them, decided to express his approval of NBC's decision by donning a full-length hairdo and a massive prosthetic jawline to resemble Jay Leno. Although it's unknown why Kimmel was so agitated, the situation was nonetheless entertaining.